E. Begell, ladies and gentlemen. You may wonder, as we sit here, whether or not Nuremberg was an AARP seniors convention. Let me remind you that that was some 50 years ago, and a few of us have managed to postpone the inevitable. Being here today is one of the rewards. Recognition of the name and concept of Nuremberg in the public mind has appreciably diminished in recent decades. It has been my experience, for example, that only a handful of present-day high school students even recognize the name Nuremberg, let alone any appreciation or understanding of its legacies. That lack of interest or knowledge is by no means unique. This week in Connecticut should remind everyone that Nuremberg is alive and well and affects all of us every day. Nuremberg has become a symbol of a new era in international law and human relations. Genocide, human rights, war crimes, and crimes against humanity are all now familiar terms around the world. The odd thing about it is that there was no conscious effort at Nuremberg in the trials and judgments to use the term genocide or human rights as concepts. Those terms evolved sui generis from the documents, testimony, and other evidence of the Nazi regime from the trials. Nuremberg stands for a lot more. Nations that enter into treaties with other nations to keep the peace now know that those agreements can be enforced. Likewise, crimes against humanity and war crimes are now recognized as punishable offenses throughout Western civilization. Historians and other scholars proclaim Nuremberg to be the prime source of history on the Third Reich. The Nuremberg process, which includes the court judgments in the several trials, has expanded international law more than in any other epoch in recent history. As with the common law, international law grows by accretion when there is a consensus that certain acts or activity are unacceptable by standards of human dignity. The precise standard is unwritten, but like Justice Byron White's definition of pornography, you know it when you see it. The moral issue remains whether the United States and other democratic countries, acting alone or together, should contribute troops and resources whenever such violations occur around the world. The United States particularly, being largely responsible for the Nuremberg process in the first place, has the obligation, in the opinion of some, to be the enforcer. The question whether the United States should have that role and become policeman to the world will not go away. It is a legacy of Nuremberg on which opinion will remain divided. Would we be better off without the legacies of Nuremberg? I don't think so. Can we live with the obligations of Nuremberg? We can if we keep our interventions in perspective. Let us not assume that it is our sole duty among nations to put out every brush fire anywhere in the world it may occur. Our moral values should not always get in the way of common sense. Thank you.
Excellent. Very good.